Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So, do we see anything different? Like, she has a background now, some sort of, so that we do not see like the surrounding chaos that is my room. So yeah, now you can all focus on my fugly face. Aren't you glad? Today I was thinking of doing a Korean style versus American / Western style makeup, and just this is not to say already, like, I feel like I need to throw out a big disclaimer saying that no, I'm not saying that all Korean people like do makeup this way. I'm not also saying that all Americans / Westerners or whatever do makeup this way. I'm just saying that this is generally what you would see the most when you kind of like say you're like on Instagram and like you scroll down your feed. This is just kind of like generally, okay? It's just not pinpointing every single person how they do their makeup. Does that make sense? I hope it does. So yeah, I think I'm going to do like half. I think I'm going to do the Korean makeup on this side of my face, and the Western style on this one, on this side, like American style on this one. So yeah, let's get started, huh? As you can see, I'm kind of like glowy all over right now. That's because I just did my skincare routine, just so that I could have like a nice base for all the makeup that I'm going to pile on my face. So for the Korean side, I don't even feel like I need to add anything, because as you can see, my skin is looking pretty luminous right now. But just for shits and giggles, let's add a little bit of the VDL Lumilayer primer. I have a little sample here that I was given when I bought the VDL foundation. So I'm going to mainly apply it on the center of my face and on the higher points of my face. Oh, I took a little bit, but it actually spreads a little very easily. And this is pretty much supposed to give that very like glow from within type of luminosity. Just kind of add luminosity to your complexion. So I'm going to focus it mainly on my temples, on my forehead a little bit, on my cheekbones. Let me make sure that I blend it out, because it's not blending in completely with my complexion. As you can see, I feel like it did add a little bit of a glow, but at the same time, on camera it looks like almost gray, but in person it's more of a like a pinkish lavender glow, which would work on a lighter complexion than mine, to add that little like extra luminosity, I guess. But on me it almost looks chalky. Also ignore my bangs. I had to like kind of like fold them in a little bit because they would like fall over my forehead. Okay, for the Western side, I am going to use the Fenty Beauty primer. This is their new one. It is the True Matte Pro Filter primer. I personally prefer a matte finish because I'm just very oily naturally. So I just love to like slather this all over my face basically. But mainly focusing on my oiliest parts, which is my T-zone, as it tends to be in most cases. But I feel like times are changing. Like I feel like before people would go for that super matte, like almost flat look when it comes to their like complexion. But I feel like now people are going for more of a like semi-matte, more natural look. Something that's not completely matte and flat, but something that looks a little bit more of like a satin finish, if that makes sense. And I feel like in Korea as well, like people before used to love that super glowy like look that here in America I feel like would be considered almost greasy looking. but I feel like it's been toning down a little bit. And even in Korea, they like a little bit of, still like the very nice radiant look, but not like super almost wet look, if that makes sense. I mean, they're still like the glass skin trend. I don't know if it's still like a thing, but I know it was at some point. So this is the more luminous side, the Korean side. I don't know why it just feels so weird saying that, but this is like, yeah, the Korean side, and this is the more matte American style. So I think next I'm going to go in with the complexion products. The first thing I'm going to do, oh, oops, it's like almost falling apart. For the Korean side, I feel like a very staple product has been the cushion foundations, and it's also carried over here in the western side of the world. And there is a brand, it's called Diba by Dibawsette, and they actually have, oh, you can see my camera, hello. And I actually made a video review of this cushion foundation, so I will link it somewhere up here. I think it is somewhere up there in the little like eye thingy. And I also, shameless promo, made a video on how to do your own cushion foundation way back when I did it, when Diba by Dibawsette wasn't a thing yet. So if you feel like you still don't find like a cushion foundation that matches you, or be it color or be it like the finish or the formula or whatever, just check my video. Also be linked up here or in the description down below, so you would know how to make your own. So yeah, for the western side I'm using, not the western, for the Korean side I'm going to use this cushion foundation that the Diba team sent to me for review purposes. Press down on the compact and apply it to my face. Can you see? Also, I think you saw before like the little hyperpigmentation that I have on my cheeks, and already in one application it's like pretty much almost gone. The one thing though, I don't know if it will still match me in color completely, because you know it's kind of like the end of the summer, so I still have a little bit of that extra melanin going on in my skin, but I think it still matches me pretty well. Yeah, I think it's fine. And the thing about this, it's pretty much, this brand revolves around the whole idea of K-beauty and bringing it to the western world, adding a little bit of a western twist, and especially making it more approachable also for melanin popping people like yours truly, because what happens often in K-beauty is that you can't really find especially complexion products that are more on the darker side of the spectrum, of the color spectrum. You know, Diba was like, you know what, I got you. Just wait, hold on a sec. And also another thing I really love about this is that it's also packed with a lot of like good ingredients for your skin, like vitamin E, jojoba oil, I think there is in this. So it's not just a foundation, but it's also it does very well take on the concept of K-beauty, where you have like the cosmetic aspect but also the very like good skincare ingredients. Look how nice and luminous this side looks. It just looks radiant from within almost. Look at me sounding like a booty guru, okay? But you can definitely see on the higher points of my face this nice luminous glow. Also, before anyone comes for me saying like, oh, the foundation is too light, my neck is way dark. It's darker than the rest of my body, or than the rest of my face. It matches my chest, but my neck has a mind of its own and decided to be darker than the rest of my body. So there's that. So for the western side, I'm going to use a liquid foundation. This is the Urban Decay Weightless Stay Naked Weightless Liquid Foundation. I am in the shade 90WO. This foundation, oh my god, this foundation is so good. Like, I've never been, I feel like there's a lot of beauty gurus when they try products and they're like, oh my god, this is the best thing ever, oh my god, like, you need to go out there and like buy like 15 of those, blah 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 blah. And I was like, okay, yeah, sure, it's how good can a foundation be? But this foundation, and no, I'm not sponsored by Urban Decay. Urban Decay doesn't even know that I live, breathe, and exist. The best part is that actually CL was part of the campaign for this foundation. You go, sis. So I'm going to, usually people start with like the kind of center of their face and go out. Me, I like to start first with the hyperpigmentation on my cheeks, just to make sure that that is covered up before I move on to the rest of my face. And what I love about this foundation is that it's not heavy at all. It doesn't look heavy. It doesn't cake up on my face. I would say that it does oxidize the slightest bit. And it claims to be, I think it claims to be like a matte foundation. But I feel like it has more of a natural satin, more like of a demi-matte. Oh my god, you can definitely see the difference here. Look down my forehead. You can definitely see the difference in color between the two. This is more of my winter color. This is more of my summer color. So for concealer on the Korean side, I'm going to use the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Concealer. Obviously, I'm going to... another thing I forgot to say maybe at the beginning of the video is that I'm not going to use purely like Korean products per se. It's just more about... The video is more based on the style of makeup rather than the products themselves, if that makes sense. Because also, like, there's no... I think there's only like Innisfree, VDL that make complexion products that are like that will suit me and my complexion, but I don't think they make concealer. And this shade in particular is pretty much close to my skin tone. It's not that far off, and I'm not going to go all over my face, which is what would happen with the Western style makeup. It's maybe like half a shade lighter than my complexion, and I'm just going to apply it just where I have a little bit of darkness under the eye, and I'm going to blend it out with the sponge. And for the Western side, I'm going to use the Fenty Beauty concealer. This is in the shade 450, which is the matching shade to my Fenty foundation. This one, as you can see, is a lot lighter than my natural skin tone, and I'm going to apply it more intensely because I feel like here in the Western side they do like the very bright under eye. I personally don't use this much concealer and not this light of a shade. If I do, it's usually to balance out when my foundation is maybe a touch too dark for me, which is almost never. Also, I'm going to put a little bit on my forehead here, just half of it, just because on this side is the Korean side, so we don't want to go cross over that side. A little bit on my chin here. It's time to set the face. To set my face, I'm going to use, for the the Korean side, I'm going to use the Innisfree No Sebum powder, and I'm going to use a very like big fluffy brush for it. The goal is to set the foundation rather than like adding another layer of coverage with powder. And this is a translucent powder, so it's not really going to add coverage. This is more to just set the base. I'm going to go like all over my face, but not heavily, just enough to set everything in place. For the Western side, I'm going to use the MAC Blot powder. This is the pressed version in Deep Dark, and one of my favorite powders for like setting my face and also for like touch up if I get oily throughout the day. As you can see, it is very well loved because I've hit pan, and I actually already bought a backup for it. I have a backup ready to go, all brand spanking new. You can definitely see the difference. Also, this is the new one that I bought recently, and this is my old one where the logo is like all rubbed off and everything. And for this, I like to use more of a denser brush, as you can see, like a more of a dense dome brush. This is the Real Techniques buffing brush, I think it is. Wow, now you can really see the difference between the two, the Western side and the Korean side. This is very much more luminous. This is very much more matte. I don't personally like to bake myself because I have dry under eyes. So when I bake, my under eyes like get crusty, and like the rest of my face gets oily, and you can definitely see that like very stark difference between my dry under eye and the oily face, and it's not cute. So I'm not gonna put myself through that. So next is shading, what it would be like, kind of like the sister of contouring, the Korean sister of contouring. Now in Korea, they don't really like to chisel out the face, just make the face look very angular. Kind of like the opposite, they kind of like to just make the face look smaller. Like the Korean beauty standards, having a small face is like a good thing apparently. Girl, I don't have that. I have a big ass face. I'm sorry. So I'm going to use the MAC blush in Film Noir, which is a blush technically, but I personally use it as a contour slash blush slash is just dark enough for me to use it as a contour. So I'm going to, instead of like chiseling out and focusing it on like right under my cheekbone, I'm going to work it on my jaw, kind of like making the jaw appearance be less angular. Was that English? Which I don't even know if it's gonna show on camera. So I'm going also to go in a little bit here like this, so that by kind of like but like shading this part, my face would like maybe look a little bit more ovally. I don't think it's picking it up on camera. Maybe you can see a little bit of the darkness going on here. And then also my 5 head, a little bit here on the temple area. Just to bring in the 5 head in a little bit. And the thing is, this is more on the cool side. Like it's more of a cool undertone, which is good because I feel like for contouring and shading, cooler tones are preferred because they mimic natural shadows. Natural shadows have more of a cooler undertone rather than a warm undertone. Wow, look at me, all technical. All technical. I done goofed. Whatever, we can still make it. Wow, just bit my tongue. For the Western side, I'm going to do pretty much the opposite of what I did on the Korean side. I'm going to actually chisel out my face, make it look like I actually have a bone structure, that I'm like a skinny legend. So pretty much following the hollows, the imaginary hollows of my cheeks. I like to go in a little bit at a little angle like this, at a curve. And instead of like starting here and going like this, I always do this because I feel like it's best when it looks a little bit more concentrated here and fades out into your face rather than the other way around. And then along my jawline, and then again the 5 head. Okay, now as I said earlier, I done goofed because, well, maybe not yet, but there is a product in my hands by Diba, by Dibawsette. It's their latest product, and they sent me this. Oh my god, it's actually so cute. They sent me this little box for me to try out and test out for you guys. So as you pull out the box, this is the lid, and this is described as The Aegyo Glow is a hybrid product that contains your makeup and skincare all in one. This liquid glow provides a long-lasting glow with an instant lifting and plumping effect. Its formula moisturizes and protects your skin while improving and smoothing its texture. Add diamond, gold, or bronze tones to your makeup for a sun-kissed liquid metal finish without the unwanted texturized skin effects. And then it has jojoba, sunflower seed wax, acacia decurrence, flower wax, and you know, all that good stuff for your skin. And inside they have these sponges that look like macaron. They're so cute. And then you have the two products. Well, they sent me two shades in particular. They made me pick. I've swatched these already just for swatching purposes, but I haven't worn them on my face per se. I just wanted to see the colors. The two colors I picked were, okay, this one is Ipuni and this one is Opaya. Oh my gosh. So when you take the lid off, it's actually a pump out product where you press down on the little lid here for the product to come out. I don't want to press too hard and like have it squirt out everywhere. So you press down and as you can see, there's the product coming out right there. Don't focus on my face. There it is, right there. And as you can see, I'm gonna maybe take a little bit. That's a little lot. So this is more of a gold finish. I'm gonna blend it out a little bit, not too much so you can see the actual color of it. So this is more of a golden finish, which is really pretty actually. So this is Opaya here on the back of my hand. It has a lot more pinky tones. Maybe if I just focus it on the very highest points of my cheeks, it can still work for my skin tone. But I prefer the more golden highlighter. So what I think I'm going to do is taking the sponge again and apply a little bit on the higher points of, just dot it just on the cheekbones and just blend it out. I'm going to maybe put a little bit on the brow bone too. Just to kind of like have that nice area of luminosity just on the like very highest points of my face. I don't want to go overboard with highlighter because I don't feel like that's really much of a thing in Korea, highlighter. Maybe like illuminators, yes, but like pure highlighter, I don't think that it's really a thing. So yeah, definitely if you like that very much natural illuminated glow, definitely check these out. I will link the products down in the description box below so you can grab yourself some, sis. For the western side, oh bruh, see, I'm a mess, okay? I forgot to go in with blush first. My dumb ass. See, this is why I'm not a booty guru, because I don't think I know what I'm doing. I just wing it. For the western side, I'm going to use the Fenty Beauty, the Fenty Beauty Kilowatt highlighter. I'm going to like mix and match both of them. And here, as you can tell, I'm definitely going for the more blinding highlight. Okay, actually, I'm not going to go in with blush right away because I like to do my eye makeup first before adding blush so that my blush can match my eye makeup better.